Are you about to watch this video and you're not liked and subscribed to it? Like the video, please. Just go down. It's right there. It's right there.
I did. I hit it. I hit it. Have you hit it?
Welcome back to Starting Nine.
Let's go.
Episode 245. Dallas, we got a home run race.
Do we?
We got a home run race happening right now. And I don't think that there's been a more important home run race since 98.
Then the race between Goldie and Arenado?
No, that one, no. I think you're getting blown out in that, aren't you?
Yeah, it's not close.
Yeah, it's not close. It's not particularly close. No. But yesterday, Monday, there was a pair of gentlemen who homered on Monday to tie the Major League lead in homers. You already had Adolis Garcia at 16. You already had Vladdy Jr. at 16. And then Ronald Acuna Jr. hit his 16th. And then Fernando Tatis Jr. hit his 16th. So, I mean, put it this way. If there's anything that I can tell you about baseball fans, they love homers. They love home runs. And what's better than having a home run race that has the biggest young stars? I mean, obviously, if Juan Soto was in the mix, it'd be nice. But having Vladdy Jr. go head-to-head with Fernando Tatis Jr., yes, head-to-head with Ronald Acuna Jr., and I happen to be loving Adolis Garcia this year. I don't know that he'll stick around in the home run race. I think he had a really hot May. A lot of fun to watch. But if this home run race goes down to the wire, and it's right? Those three guys. Yeah, two in one weekend. But if this home run race goes down to the wire and it's those three guys, what could possibly be better for the sport?
Well, it's exciting because where the sport is, what you are looking for in the game of baseball right now in terms of production, the excitement, what gets you going. Because look, I'm going to be real. Over the weekend, I took note of multiple innings, or multiple stretches, I should say, where there was one, maybe two balls put in play over the course of 15 minutes. And that happened multiple times. That's boring as fuck. You know what breaks up that boringness is a jack, an absolute tank. That breaks that up. That's where the game is now. And to have the future of the game at the top of the leaderboard, giving you really the only thing you're asking for as a baseball fan these days, it feels like. You're either asking for the CG shutpiece domination on the mound, or you're asking for the beer league softball absolute just bang fest. And to have these young dudes banging right now, all at the top of the leaderboard, like I said, that's huge for the game of baseball. Huge. And I mean, I'd love to be talking about which one of these guys is going to be the one who gets that 40-40 season under their belt.
Didn't Tatis say he wanted 50-50?
Well, I mean, go get it. Go get 40-40. Go get 40-40.
I mean,
you can miss me like pump the brakes. You can miss me with that 50-50 bullshit until I see 40-40. And then some would even say you can
40-40.
No, from him.
I guess, but I mean,
what do you mean?
Put it this way.
What do you mean you guess? What do you mean you guess? How are you going to fire that? I guess
because Acuna probably would have done it last year if it was a 162 game season.
So, well, I mean, he had the opportunity to do it the year before.
Yeah, but I mean,
what do you mean? Yeah, no, it was there, and he didn't. I don't care who says it. I don't care.
He's young enough to where
you can line any one of these young pups up and say, yeah, 50-50. And I would say to them, 50-50, that's cute. Show me 40-40 first. Because you don't just get to throw out the fucking 50-50 and not even come close to a 40-40.
Why are you so mad all the time?
I'm not mad. That just becomes like we're just going to start bypassing, in my mind, monumental shit. Like, you get a guy out there, 40-40 type season. You know what that means for his ball club? You know what that means for him? You know how exciting that was to watch? So we're not just, I don't give a shit that you're Fernando Tatis Jr. I'm sorry. Love the kid. Love the dude. I'm just not here to listen to your 50-50 talk before we get the 40-40
Acuna
talk.
Jr. hit 41 homers and stole
And
37 bags in
37,
2019. So
He was right there. It's
we've
possible.
seen 4 guys do 40-40. Acuna was right there.
So you've got 4 dudes who've achieved that, and we're just like, yeah, you know what? That sounds like a fun conversation, but let's talk 50-50.
Is there?
No,
there's
really?
there's no one in the 40-40 club that's in the Hall of Fame, right? Is A-Rod, Barry, Canseco, and Soriano?
Yeah, and yeah. I don't know.
I almost don't want to get in that club at that point.
But so like, do you see where I'm coming from now? It's not that I'm angry. No, I'm not angry at all. I'm not here. I can't allow that kind of shit to happen in the game of like in the world of baseball. I can't let people just go, yeah, man, let's talk Fernando Tatis 50-50. I fucking
Why?
Stop it.
I mean, like, yeah, I get that you have to
Stop
show
it.
40-40 first, but like the idea of these guys have the ability to be 50-50. Like, that's
so I didn't want to go here.
I
I didn't want to go here. I didn't want to go here because I'm not a guy who likes to go here. You got to stay healthy. First of all, let's start there.
I think that's another feather in his cap that he hasn't stayed healthy this year, and he's still tied for the major league lead in homers.
Well, that's a completely different conversation than the one you and I have been having. You've just brought in home runs and his ability to stay healthy into a conversation where you and I have been talking about him being a 50-50 threat.
I'm not saying he's going to do it. I'm just saying
I know you're not, but you're
it's
here.
a goal that he would like to achieve.
He started beating that drum, and you put on your fucking loincloth and started dancing around like, yeah, fuck yeah, Fernando Tatis, 50-50, here we come, 50-50,
I mean,
here
is
we come.
is it a situation where you? I mean, okay, he's
It's
never
exactly what I said.
He's
Pump
never
your
done
brakes,
40-40.
stay
I'm not
healthy,
asking that. I'm
show
not
me
asking
40-40.
that. He's never
That's
done
what I said.
40-40. He has the ability to be 50-50, yes or no?
If he's talent-wise, skill set-wise,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. I mean, he's leading the majors in homers and stolen bases right now.
Outstanding. That's where I would go back to what I said I didn't want to talk about, especially with Tatis Jr., because it's already happened once this year, but he bounced back like months quicker than anybody thought, right? Like shoulder injury, people are like, fuck, maybe after the All-Star break. Thank God they didn't have to repair it surgically. And the dude was back, in a week, 10 days or whatever, pumping jacks. So
he's 4 stolen bases away from tying his career high.
And back to my original direction with the conversation was, what are you going to be asking of him? Are you going to be asking him to steal those bags? Is he going to be allowed to? Is it going to be like game situation wise? Because think about Acuna Jr. If you go back and look at 19, I want to say there for a while he was getting thrown out towards the end, trying to get that number up, trying to get to 40.
Yeah, he got thrown out 9 times.
And so when you're trying to do that and you're gambling, I ask, what are you gambling with game situation wise? Where are the Padres at? Are they in a position where they're okay with him potentially running themselves out of an inning? I feel like they allow him to go out and just play his game. But that's why the 50-50 mark is like, buddy, we're talking about a guy whose numbers look great, extrapolated over 162 because it hasn't been a full healthy 162 from him yet. And what are we going to get when we see that? That's kind of what we get excited about. That's how you do these things is, dude, could you imagine if he stayed healthy for a full 162, what that could be? And to your question, which was, Dallas, does he have the skills? Does he have the ability? Does he have the yeah, absolutely. His ability to hit homers.
Like you have to preface every player these days with if he stays healthy. Like there's no one going out there playing 162 anymore. It's just not happening.
No, but I mean, I think when we say 162, what we mean is barring a significant injury that has him miss significant time.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a guy's season looking like, hey, he played in 145 games, 150 games, whatever. That's not 162. But he didn't miss those other days because he was out with this and then out for 2 weeks with that and blah, blah. That's what I'm getting at. That's what we all know.
So the home run race, Vladdy Jr., Fernando Tatis Jr., Ronald Acuna Jr., Adolis Garcia. You know who's next in line to tie them?
No, who?
Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, what, 14?
He's 15.
Or 15?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you just have a royal rumble of face of baseball candidates all within the Major League home run lead. They're either leading or right there.
And out of all of those names, Jared, how many of those dudes would you put on the mound to win a ball game for you?
I bet you Adolis Garcia could probably throw some gas.
No, hey, Jared.
I bet he could.
Jared.
I bet he could.
You hear that? Jared, that's your integrity running away from you.
No. You said how many would you put on the mound, not who's the guy you would put on the mound. That's two different questions.
How many would you put on the mound to win a ball game? And if you picked anybody other than the pitcher who's also on that list, you're an asshole.
I feel like Adolis Garcia could give me some innings.
Not in that ball game you want to win. He could probably give anybody on that list could give you innings. How many?
I feel like you're underrating his ability. Have you seen the size of this guy?
I have. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably benches like 550 for reps.
Doesn't impress me on the mound. It's cute.
What do you think Chapman's benching? A lot.
It's not showtime. Yeah, 1 inning burst. Whatever. How many homers Chapman got? Fucking thank you.
Yeah. Stinks. Guy actually stinks.
He's not showtime.
Tristan McKenzie struck out 8 batters in a row on Monday.
Wednesday!
I think that was that was an Indians record?
That is a tribe record.
Mm.
And after giving up 4?
Yeah, he had already given up 4 at that point.
So this is how you settle down. How do you settle down? A little mound meeting. Pitching coach comes out, hey, let's get back into this thing. All right, settle down. Let's get ahead. Let's just not work on missing bats. Let's just, get back in the zone, maybe get some of that weak contact, some early contact, see if we can't bounce back, get through this outing. Okay, how about I punch out the next 8 dudes? How's that sound? Will that work? Yeah, pitch count probably going to take a little bit of a hit, but yeah, that right there, go ahead and get that done. So we're not here to talk about the walks. We're not here to talk about the 4-run second inning. We're here to talk about punching out 8 dudes in a row.
Yeah. And he'd actually gotten sent down at one point this year.
Well, this is part of the evolution of a young starting pitcher. And I went through this. You come up and you want to punch people out. And partly because you want to show people what you got, what you can do, that you can make big league hitters miss. And also partly because if you're being honest with yourself, you're slightly afraid of throwing all of your shit in the strike zone a lot. Because, that's like swimming in the deep end. That's like jumping off the diving board. Like I can jump off the side of the pool in the deep end, turn right around, doggy paddle back to the ledge, and it's like, yeah, I swam in the deep end, but did you? When you jump off that diving board, there's no just turning around to the edge of the pool. You're in the middle of the deep end, and there's a lot of splashing going on. You could get dunked underwater. Like, it's a scary, scary place to be if you're not used to it. So that's the strike zone. So you kind of tiptoe around a little bit, and it's not because you can't compete. It's because you don't want to give up the 3-run tank and get sent down because you're like, fuck, it's like one pitch is what always does it for me. I throw one pitch, I give up a fucking double, and then I'm back in 3A trying to iron this out. Well, you know what? Fuck that. I'm just going to punch the world out. How about that? I punch everybody out. What are they going to do? And that's where you get caught in between trying to be efficient, trying to mature, and trying not to get your ass kicked. It's a tough spot to be in.
So I was watching the Dodgers last night, and Trevor Bauer was pitching. Dodgers. It was a great game. And Chris Taylor had a 14 pitch at bat where bases were loaded, and he ended up doubling and clear on the bases.
Grinding.
But Trevor Bauer gave up 3 homers in that game. And after he gave up the third one, I was thinking to myself, I was like, I watch a lot of his starts. I don't think I've missed one yet, to be honest. And I'm like, but he's got like a low 2 ERA this year, but I feel like he's given up a lot of homers. So I did the digging on it, and it looked like coming into his start last night, he had given up 16 runs coming into his start on Monday, and 13 of the runs were allowed on homers.
Shots.
And then he had given up 4 runs, 3 earned in his most recent start, and he gave up 3 homers. Like, what is that? If you're out there and you're just slicing and dicing, carving guys up, but you're still giving up homers, like, what is that?
It's a guy. It's like, I think it's leaving pitches fat. A combination of leaving pitches fat and guys, I don't want to say guessing correctly, but guys having an idea of what they're looking for, maybe probably almost 100% like selling out on a pitch or a location from Bauer. Like, I would be interested to see how many of those are in advantageous counts, hitter advantage counts as opposed to pitcher advantage counts. And if, like, from there you would work to see what pitches they've been that they've hit out. My guess, it's probably fastballs.
It's all different kinds of pitches. Like, it's not just fastballs.
The home runs. Do you have the numbers in front of you?
I don't have them in front of me. I was looking at them last night, and it was not overwhelmingly fastballs.
Okay. So then that's like, and here's the thing. With that being said, that's why game situation and figuring that out comes into play, because the numbers can tell you what to look for. And though it might not be what you would consider overwhelming, those numbers in situations, there's baselines. Like, if this guy is a 40% breaking ball in a 2-1 count, I guess I feel like I might be looking for that. Like, if his fastball is, if his fastball is 51% and then, an other is featured, okay, so I've got almost a coin flip between the fastball and the curveball. But then I can look at the numbers and see that in 2-2 counts, his fastball numbers are 63%, 68%. It's like, okay, well, then you know what? I can look at that and say 2-1 count, he's probably going to go to that curveball. Why? Because if he gets me to 2-2, you know what he's going to try to finish me off with?
Yeah.
That fastball, and he might not be doubling up here. He would start to double up 2-2. So 2-2, he misses with the fastball. Ooh, well, in this day and age, we got to go back to those numbers, because the old theory tells you if he throws it 2-2 and misses, he'll probably come back and throw it 3-2. Because as pitchers, we think if I've missed there 2-2, I can throw a better one 3-2. I got the confidence in myself to do that. That's not always the case these days. Numbers have changed the game. Confidence has changed the game.
Interestingly enough, he's given up 4 homers on the 4-seam, 1 on the slider, none on the changeup, 4 on the curveball, and 4 on the cutter.
So
it's
you
like
got
it's
10,
so
10 on the
evenly-
fast. Well, no. This is how the pitches are logged. That's technically 10 on the fastball, Jared, because that's 4-seam, cut, sinking fastball. That's how they get categorized. So while we know that those are different pitches that have different profiles and different movements, technically speaking, he hit my cut fastball, he hit my sinker, he hit my 4-seamer. So on the fastball variety, it is an overwhelming number. Right?
It's 8 on the fastball, 8 of the 13. Then if it's 4-seam and cutter.
Oh, I thought you said you said 4 on the 4-seam,
4 on the 4-seam, 4 on the cutter. So 8 of the 13.
and then 1 on the 2-seamer.
1 on the slider.
Oh, 1 on the slider.
No on the 2-seam.
Gotcha.
Curveball 4.
Gotcha.
Changeup 0.
See, so then those curveballs, I would go and look at what count those curveballs were in.
Mm-hmm. I could probably.
That's in depth. That's in depth analysis.
Yeah.
Because not only because for me, not only do I then go and look at what count those curveballs were thrown in, I look at game situation. How many outs, runners on, and how many times through. Was that the first time that he saw this guy? Was that the second time, third time?
Yeah. So
that's why this shit is so fun to dive into.
Right.
If you know what you're looking for, if you know what I mean, because you can pick this shit apart, dude. You can find your answers if you know where to look.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely would have to dig a little deeper, like you said, looking at like the counts and everything, because it's like it looks like eight on the hard stuff, 5 on the soft stuff.
That's why baseball is maddening to me, because I'm not outstanding with numbers per se, but if you know what you're looking for, like the statistical aspect of it, like I can handle. I understand. I know what I'm looking for, but to break down numbers and shit in a random conversation outside of a baseball setting, fuck you.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it's hard. Like I know that Trevor Bauer would love to shove it up everyone's ass and be like, "Oh, you think I want a Mickey Mouse Cy Young Award? Well, how about this? How about I follow it up with 162 win a Cy Young Award?" That I feel like is not possible as long as Jacob deGrom is alive.
Yeah, if Jacob deGrom is breathing oxygen and consuming water to keep himself alive, that's where the Cy Young favorite lies.
That's it.
That's it.
He's going into the month of June with a 0.71 ERA, 82 strikeouts in 51 innings. The whip is .569.
Whip it good.
The strikeouts per 9, 14.5.
How about the number?
His career high was 13.8 last year, which led the league.
How about the number of 100-mile-per-hour fastballs thrown by him, and then the next closest, like 2, 3, 4, 5 people?
I mean, we could figure that out right now.
It's hilarious.
So
like he just pitched again, so it's probably up in the 50s now, or 60s, or whatever the fuck.
The number of pitches thrown at 100 miles an hour or faster. Clase,
Yeah,
that reliever for the Indians.
Emmanuel Clase.
161. That's a lot.
For who?
Clase.
Okay.
Then it's deGrom at 67.
No, starters.
Yeah,
Starters.
because yeah.
That's why. Yeah,
let's see.
because it's like the next. It feels like the next 76 people you could combine.
Okay, so this is just for starters. Number 1, Jacob deGrom.
With that one, say it again.
He has thrown 67 fastballs at 100 miles an hour or faster. Next, Shohei Ohtani.
Showtime. Let's go.
Yeah, what's he got?
I'm gonna say 12.
8.
Look at that's ridiculous.
It's 8.
60-7. Who's next?
Glasnow.
8. Oh, okay. Glasnow, what's he have?
6.
Oh, that's cute.
Garrett Cole.
Yeah.
He's got 4.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Then you got nasty Nathan Eovaldi of the Boston Red Sox.
Uh-huh.
He's got 1.
All right, so we got 19 between the next 3 guys.
Yeah. Well, Rodon, Alcantara, and Anoa are tied with 1. No other starters have hit 100 this year. Besides McClanahan, Tampa.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've watched him throw 100.
Yeah, he's got 6 with Glasnow. So deGrom 67, Ohtani 8, Glasnow 6, McClanahan 6, Cole 4, Eovaldi 1, Rodon 1, Alcantara 1, Enoa 1, and that's it.
And though that's not an overwhelmingly valuable statistic. It just like it's just one of those, like it really is like a dick measuring utensil is really what it is. Like what does that mean? I don't know. It means the dude throws really fucking hard a lot more than everybody else does. That's what that means.
I'm surprised that there aren't more starters that have at least hit 100 this year.
Yeah, that is kind of weird to think. I feel like there would be more, like because Frankie Montas has 100 miles an hour in the bag.
Yeah,
I've seen him dial it up. He hasn't been there. Yeah.
Interesting.
deGrom.
That's insane. 67.
Absolutely.
67. He's running up the scoreboard right now. 67-8. And what was the stat? That he has a hit in 7 of his 8 starts.
He's got a hit in 7 of his 8 starts, and in 6 out of those 8 starts,
he
has
run.
Either scored a run or driven in a run himself.
Yeah.
And I think we've all kind of made this point at some point in time, and that's what I said on Morningwood. And the best part about it, of all of it, is he can give you that line. He could give you the 8-9 innings, 14, 16 punch-outs, and you're like, okay, but did the Mets win that game, or how did that game go? And now it's like, okay, so deGrom pitched, so then it very well may have been a 2-1 loss, is how you think about that, because 7 out of the 8 starts he's getting knocks, he's driving in or scoring runs in 6 of those 8, all himself. Yeah, it's fair to ask.
This can't be right.
What do you got? It's probably true.
Jacob deGrom's wins above replacement as a hitter is equal to Francisco Lindor's wins above replacement as a hitter this year. 0.5 for both.
That is, well, what does that say about the Mets pitching staff? Is that a feather in the cap for them? Because
I could see you reach like this for the Pirates, but for the Mets, I feel like this is beneath you.
All right.
Speaking of the Pirates.
What?
What do you got? They're trying hard. They're playing games, right?
They're playing games. They're still letting fans in.
Yeah. Are they back at 100% yet in Pittsburgh?
Effort wise, I don't. What are we doing?
Are they back to 100% effort wise? Yeah. Yeah. No, we're doing our best.
Oh man, I don't even know where to begin.
Have we done a podcast since that play or no?
No, we haven't. No, we have not.
Do you want to talk about it?
I'll say this because I'm not trying to blast Javi, but unfortunately I feel like that's what this turns into by just trying to explain how badly all of this unfolded. Like it's so bad on every single level. So where do I start with this? I'll start.
Hit all the levels.
I'll start with Javi. Okay, we'll start with Javi. Does he have this thought process in him? Does this part of his game? Yes, it is. To do shit like that. It absolutely is part of his game. There are other players who think about doing stuff like this, who don't do shit like this in games in May. Maybe they would reserve it for a different time. That's not a knock on Javi at all. He's game ready all the time. That is what that is, okay? Now, let's move on from there and go to game situation. Because I want people to remember, Javi is not special for doing what he did. He just did it.
I think he's special for that.
He's not.
I mean, let me just intervene as someone who isn't a bitter Pirates fan. That was special.
Well, it
to have the presence of mind.
No,
I mean,
and
you're not seeing a whole ton of. There's definitely guys in the league that aren't the brightest bulbs.
There's no presence of mind there thing. Like that's why I said this is something that people know that you can do, and it's not a presence of mind. Javi's just saying like last ditch effort. It's a combination between avoiding a potential collision / not having the opportunity to go into a dive and slide around that at first base, which is something Javi would do given the physical ability to do it, like the physical space. So he didn't have any of that. So he was essentially boxed into making that decision, which he did, and then he just started to back up. And right there is where it stops, because there's another action on Javi's end at the end of the play, or towards the what should have been one of the ends of the play, that leads you to believe, or that could give you insight as to Javi not being fully present in that moment, or maybe being so fully present in that moment, he gave you the safe call. We'll get to that. Folks, there were 2 outs. So anytime as an infielder, especially a corner infielder, you get the ball hit to you with 2 outs and you got a force right in front of you, you're taught from a very early age, like probably when they're still changing your diaper, to just step on the bag. Just tag the bag. Step on the bag. Step on the bag. What do you want me to do? Step on the bag. Do I need to throw it to anybody? Nope, you just step on the bag. Well, what if he turns around? You just step on the bag. Even if he runs all the way, yep, just step on the bag. Well, what if I'm the third baseman and the runner at third, he starts to go home and no, you just step on the bag. Because it's a force out. The guy at second, you just step on the bag. That's all you do. Every time! That's all you do, is step on the bag. So, when that didn't happen, and the fucking hot pursuit ensues, why throw the ball at the end of the play? At the end of it all? At the end of all of that, why are you giving the fucking baseball up? What in the Sam hell are you doing? You might as well have stopped and just thrown it to the fucking pitcher and brought in a cutoff man into this situation. That would have been better for entertainment purposes, because what you were doing academically was not correct. Why would we even give the ball up? Just run the guy back. Run him all the way back. Run him back to where, Dallas? To home plate, where he came from? That sounds stupid. I know it, but we're here now, and there's nowhere else to go. So, yeah, just do that. Nope. How about I throw it to the catcher? Why would you do that? Well, because I want to get the runner trying to score from third base. Oh, that makes it. No, fuck, wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense at all. Because you could still just turn around and throw it to your. Wait! No, you can't, because the second baseman. Where's he? Where's the second baseman? Buying a fucking ticket to the ball game. Because he ain't playing it. He ain't part of it. Nobody covered. How about a pitcher? What is going on? What is going? It's just a complete and total fundamental meltdown. That's all it was. And after the ball got thrown to the catcher, that's where Javi turns, and very awesome, throws out the safe call. Safe! No, Javi. Not yet, dude. Not yet, because you're still live for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. The Pirates apparently were drinking mimosas before the ball game. And they found the bottom of bottomless mimosas, did the Pirates apparently. Because you have to be shit-faced to go out there and make those kinds of plays back to back to back. And that's what happened. Javi Baez calls the runner safe and then proceeds to run down to first base and finish off the play where there's nobody covering. And then the ball gets thrown in the shitter, and Javi goes to second. And Anthony Rizzo is having an appendicitis in the fucking dugout. He's laughing so hard.
Can you, actually, I got 2 things that I want to say. First, Just to cheer you up. Can we get a raise it?
No.
Can we get one? Come on.
No.
The people
not
want
right.
it.
They,
Dallas,
they
Dallas,
don't deserve it.
The people want it. The people want to
No,
hear it.
I can't.
They do.
I
They
can't
wanna
do
hear it.
that.
People want
Raise it. Raise it. We can't, Jared. We can't go on like this. Our fucking flag. You're going to go ahead and tear down the flagpole. What do we need that fucking thing for? My God.
Second, would you like a Jacob deGrom stat that'll cheer you up?
Please.
This is from Steve Gelbs. Coming into tonight, which was last night, Jacob deGrom led the majors with 13.4 pitches per inning. He also led MLB with 14.8 strikeouts per 9, which means he's striking out the world while simultaneously being the most efficient pitcher in the game.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just
like a, hey, get in there. I'm going to do what I got to do and then get the fuck out.
I don't think people truly appreciate that.
13.4 pitches per inning.
And the big league average is about 15, little north of. And so that's to get through an inning. Maybe you get some weak contact and you're done. To get through an inning, all right? To strike people out, we celebrate immaculate innings. When somebody's able to go out there and throw 9 pitches and punch 3 guys out, because we are celebrating the dominance and the efficiency with which that dominance was just displayed. So I need you, people that are listening to this, to understand what you are basically being shown on a night in, night out basis from Jacob deGrom is something slightly less impressive than an immaculate inning over the course of 8 or 9 fucking innings every night.
Do you want another one?
That is.
You want another one?
Please.
This is again from Steve Gelbs. He said, after Jacob deGrom threw his first curveball of the season, it's worth remembering something that Jeremy Hefner told me this spring.
Keep going.
Hefner says deGrom's curveball is elite, like one of the best curveballs in Major League Baseball.
Louder.
He simply doesn't need it, so he doesn't use it.
Oh, God.
Imagine having just like an absolute hammer, and you're like, what do I got to do that for? Like I'm already the
as
best.
As a married guy, I can feel him.
0.7-1. What the fuck do I need to use that for? That's just being mean, I feel like, at that point.
That and please, my changeup was not Jacob deGrom's curveball or any one of his other pitches. It was my best pitch. So that would be like asking me to go out there without like my third best pitch. I don't even throw one of those. I don't even have one of those. Oh, Dallas, you can't throw that. Well, I don't have one. Well, what else do you throw really well? Well, I've only got another pitch that I throw kind of good. Okay, well, don't throw that. Well, what's left? I don't fucking have anything left. I got to go home now.
Yeah.
I can't play baseball anymore. I got to go. And he's just like, you know what? I just really haven't found a need for it. Like, honestly, because, again, I throwed 67 fastballs at 100 plus. All right? The rest of the starting staff in baseball can't sniff my jock when it comes to that. Oh, and have I showed you the dandy little slide piece that I'm featuring these days? Because that's coming in hot at around 93, 94, 95 sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the idea of like slowing it down for these guys and speeding their bat up, like, look, dude, I could change eye level if I need to. I don't. I throw a fucking 1,000, okay? And the cutter, that thing is, or the slider, whatever you want to call, it's unhittable. It's unhittable. So he's really just wasting time. But that right there is a beautiful insight to why he's so efficient. Think about how we look at Mariano Rivera and his ability to knife his way through opponents' lineups with one pitch, right? We know he featured a four-seamer if he needed to straighten it out a little. and he'd cut it, maybe straighten it out a little, maybe throw a backup cutter on accident every now and then, maybe on purpose, probably on purpose because he's a fucking wizard. Shout out Mo. He's not fucking around. There's no need to show you anything else. He's up there playing 3-card monte with 1 card. Hey, pick what chat. Well, this is going to be pretty easy, Jake. You only got 1 hat on the table. Oh, yeah? There's a hundo.
You want another one?
Please. Oh, my God. Carrabis. My reboot is going to take a hit here.
This is from ESPN Stats and Info.
Okay.
We already mentioned the 100-mile-an-hour pitches earlier in the podcast and what that looked like compared to the rest of the league. Jacob deGrom threw 27 pitches at least 100 miles an hour tonight, the third most of any pitcher in an outing since 2008, which we know is not Dallas Braden.
No.
He also lowered his ERA this season to 0.71, the lowest by any qualified pitcher through the end of May since Chris Short in 1964, which was 0.64. People were still getting excited about the Beatles for the first time, the last time someone did something that Jacob deGrom is doing right now.
Yeah, they're like, hey, these stoners from Europe, dude, they can jam.
They can jam, dude. Yeah,
they're gonna be good. I feel like they're gonna be good. So is that short guy.
Yeah. He's. I don't know if I want to be in the same category as what the fuck was his name? Chris Short.
You said it 7 seconds ago. You already forgot. I forgot it too.
Chris Short. Fucking Chris Short.
It is just it's a level of domination, and there's no other word. There really is not another word other than dominant. Like unfair. Because it's unfair.
It is unfair. You know what else is unfair?
I've got a list of things, but I don't know that that fits right here.
Yeah. We can get into it in the final thoughts, but for now, Dallas, I'm going to need you to tell me who's in first place in the NL West right now.
You know what's fun about this?
What's up?
Is because I'm now receiving, and I've been I have, and it's mounting now. The the hate mail from active roster individuals.
Yeah, who's in first? Just say it. Say their name.
I can tell you who's been playing good baseball lately.
Who's in? I want you to tell me.
I'll say that.
There's some really good fucking teams in the NL West. I tweeted the stat yesterday. I think it was like since May 11th, the Dodgers, Padres, and Giants were 45-15 going into play on Monday. The Dodgers won. The Padres did lose. They have lost 2 straight. And then there's a team at the top of the division. They've won 4 straight ball games. Yep. A plus 69 run differential, which is better than any team in the NL Central. It's better than any team in the NL East. It's better than any team in your AL West, really.
Is it better than every team in their division?
No, but
okay. All right.
It's better than every team in the AL East, Dallas. Only the White Sox and the AL Central have a out-of-division chance at being better than this team. But who? Yeah, just let me know. Who's in first place right now in the NL West? Who you got?
You made an interesting point with the White Sox there.
Yeah.
So let's because you know who the White Sox get to play?
Who do they get to play?
Well, they get to play teams like the Minnesota Twins. They get to play teams like the Detroit Tigers.
No doubt. The Royals aren't very good.
So I can understand why the White Sox would have the run differential they do in that division,
No doubt.
and why it would look the way it does there.
Yeah.
And so when I think about that, I think about some of the teams the San Francisco Giants play.
Mm-hmm. Some really good
And-
teams.
Oh, some great teams.
Great teams.
I mean, two teams that will be at the top of that division when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two that's there right now, and that's the San Diego Padres. Not at the very top of that division.
No,
Joe,
they're a half game out right now.
but they are the team that has the best run differential in that division.
No doubt. Yep. Can't
and
take
the
that
San
away from
Francisco Giants, they get to play the Colorado Rockies.
them. Mm-hmm. Bad team.
Not a great team.
Nope.
One of the worst in baseball right now.
Correct.
And then they also get to play almost the actual. Forgive me. Because the Orioles, they're still letting people in too. The Diamondbacks.
Yeah.
Worst team in the National League. And they get to play them too.
They do. Yep.
So.
But so
when
do
I
the
think about-
Padres and the Dodgers, wouldn't you say?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely. But, yeah, and I mean, I would really have to take a look at the schedule. Maybe we could look at the schedule and see how many times. Maybe that's something you could do while I tell you why I think this has happened here. Because the Giants, however frequently they've played the Rockies and the Diamondbacks, hey, maybe they could have played them a lot early on. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. But there's some things that I've been taking note of, which is why the Giants have had the success they're having. And it's a lot to do in part what's happened on the mound. I've given Alex Wood his due, and he's continued to give you every reason to tune in to his starts.
Well, he's been
every 5
outstanding.
days. He's been fucking phenomenal. Kevin Gossman, I mean, the wipeout split is on full display, on its best behavior, some would say.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a couple guys in the rotation that are doing work, like capital WERK, work. And then you've got the old fogies that are fucking rolling the pole. Buster, welcome back, baby.
Ooh.
I mean, how about this guy? And Brandon Crawford? Little power surge?
Yeah.
Crawdog?
Mm-hmm.
Longo?
Homered
The ageless
yesterday.
wonder?
Yeah.
Longo? So they're getting...
I can tell you this right now. I'm looking at the numbers here. They've all enjoyed playing the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. So we'll start with
Have
the
they?
Padres. Padres are 4-2 against the
Okay.
D-backs, 5-1 against the Rockies. The Dodgers 4-0 against the D-backs, 6-1 against the Rockies. And then the first place San Francisco Giants,
Mm-hmm.
2-0 against the D-backs, so haven't played them a ton. 6-3 against the Rockies. So they've played the Rockies 9 times. They've got 6 wins to come away with that. 2-0, just a brief little 2 games. So they've got a lot of games left against these teams.
So 8 of their wins accounted for between the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. So do they have the least amount of wins accounted for against those two teams?
The
between
Dodgers
the other
have
two?
10 wins accounted for,
Uh-huh.
and the Padres have 9 wins accounted for.
All right. So do we delete this part of the podcast?
I feel like it's just another feather in the cap of the Giants that you have to give them credit for being as good as they have been.
No.
I would say, factually speaking, the Giants have benefited the least from having those two teams in their division.
Oh, just because they haven't played them a ton. That's all.
I mean, I guess, that's just something to look down the line is they do get to play them more, which means that they will eventually benefit more from that. But as of right now.
Then you see my point.
No, I see your
Yep,
point of
yep,
them
no,
being
it's
in
very clear.
first
It's pretty
place.
clear.
It's
Pretty
almost
clear
like, put it
that
this way.
they'll
Let
eventually
me
benefit from
put
that.
this in simpler terms for
obvious.
everyone. Right now, the San Francisco Giants, they are Yoshi in Mario Kart. They're already in first place, and they still have 3 mushrooms.
Yeah, well, I got a red turtle shell.
Yeah.
I got a blue turtle shell.
You do,
all right?
because they still have to play each other, and that's
I
a
got a
fair counter.
Yeah, that blue turtle shell. Oh, how fitting it is. Oh, how fitting it's blue, too. Oh, how fitting it is.
Yeah, the Giants have played the Dodgers 7 times. They're 3-4.
and there's a lot of meat on that bone.
Mm.
12 more games.
They've played the Padres tough though.
Hey,
5-4 against the Padres.
Do me a favor right now.
Yep.
Go to the Giants schedule.
Yep.
When do they play the Dodgers last? That's
You know what bothers me? That like if I were to search, like I had to type in San Francisco Giants schedule, because if I typed in Giants schedule, I get the football schedule, and if I type in like Rangers schedule, I'd get the fucking New York Rangers. I don't like that.
No, I don't like that either. That's biased. That's Big Four biased right there.
It's trash, is what it is. When you're asking when is the last series that they play against each other?
Yes. Last Dodgers Giants series.
It appears to be the first, or that first weekend in September. So the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of September.
Okay. So then now, do you have the Giants schedule pulled up?
Yeah.
So who do they finish with?
The Diamondbacks.
Mm.
That puts them in a nice, comfy position. But
yeah, well,
but they do finish out. They have 7
so
of
that's
their
what I was gonna
last.
say is give me their last 10. Give me their last 10 games.
So this is their last 3 weeks. 4 against the Padres, 3 against the Braves, 3 more against the Padres, 3 against the Rockies, and 3 against the D-backs. So their last 6 are against the Rockies and D-backs.
So the last 6 are layups.
Yep.
Layups. Because then, but this is where it gets, you have to give credit here. September call-ups, September baseball, little different. And you just like the air of the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what Colorado is going to be running out there in September? Who knows what Arizona is going to be running out there in September? And who knows what that looks like?
Yeah.
But those games are going to be very important
I mean,
to the Giants. Very important.
I'm going to give, you know what, Dallas? Because I'm a nice guy, I'm going to give you the opportunity today, June 1st, 2021. I'm going to give you the opportunity, just this once, to walk back your take that the Giants won't sniff the playoffs. Because you know that they are. Like, you have to, like, if you stick with this take, it's just going to be you going down with the pirate ship once again. It's just another pirate ship to the bottom of the ocean. Do you want to stay above water and walk back that take today, June 1st?
You know, I the fucking gnats.
Yeah, the fuck.
No, fuck that.
No,
man.
wow.
Fuck that.
Wow.
Fuck that. Look. I can't deny that they're having a wonderful season.
They're in first place.
And I also can't deny that a lot of that has come from places that just have essentially been vacant production slots the past few years.
Yep.
With Buster, with Crawford, Longo.
He's going to start the fucking All-Star game, Buster Posey.
I mean, these. So if I'm being honest, like, do I love it for these dudes? Fuck yeah, I love it for them because I'm here for these old dogs getting theirs. Absolutely. Do I think that is something that could work against them come August? Like, how's the body holding up? How we feeling? All 3 of these guys come August. We doing good? We all right? Does the production wane? Because something Giants fans will tell you a lot about, the June swoon. Oh man, and what we're getting from Gossman, what we're getting from Woody. Like, look, dude, if these kind of performances maintain, Jared, what kind of conversation are we having about them in August and September?
Yeah, we talking about division champs?
Well, I mean, but specifically with those like Gosman, and we said this, like as long as Jacob deGrom is breathing, like the Cy Young conversation is what it is. But like, if this kind of performance continues to trend, I feel like we're having that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Am I off in that?
No, I mean, I think we're talking about like a pretty big if.
What's the big if?
The sustainability of performances.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, I'm not. I'm
all
not
right.
sitting here saying that they won't sniff the playoffs. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
I said that a while ago. That was once said by me.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait, so you're not sticking with it?
Well, there's a difference between saying it right now and sticking with it.
Mm-hmm.
I would believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm sticking with it, that's different.
Yeah. No, I still think that the Giants are a playoff team. They're going to sniff it real good. They're going to take a big old whiff of that playoffs.
No, I'm saying no.
All right.
I'm saying no.
All right. Well, I'm saying yes to Gosling's rum.
Maybe it's because I've said yes to those already today.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. What makes you happy? Our friends over at Gosling's Rum are daring you to be happy, so we thought we'd ask. When was the last time you took a day off? For me, it was 2006. We're all working longer and harder. We all need to take a day. So why not break your routine and do something different? Join us in celebrating International Dark and Stormy Day on June 9th. This year, Goslings is celebrating Dark and Stormy Day virtually and pulling out all the stops, even giving away a year's supply of Goslings Stormy Ginger Beer. That's awesome. To one lucky winner. Check out goslingsrum.com to learn more about Dark and Stormy Day and enter for a chance to win a whole year's supply of Gosling's Stormy Ginger Beer. I love that. I'm sure we'll get into the Marcell Ozuna stuff a little bit later, but it looks like there's more details that are coming out right now as we're recording. But we'll get to that later. We want to have fun first before we talk about something a little bit more serious. The Tampa Bay Rays. This is a team. Again, I'm going to keep bringing this up. I was laughed at for picking as the division champs in the American League East. Everyone was like, oh, dude, obviously the Yankees are going to win the division. Like, they're so good, dude. Like, they got Garrett Cole and, like, and like obviously like the Yankees are the best, dude. Like everyone watches that team knows that team's so good. They brought back DJ LeMahieu. He's so good too.
Luke Voigt.
No, we got Luke Voigt and fucking Luis Severino, dude. Like he's the man.
How about Herman? Herman, that fucking kid Herman, huh?
The Yankees, I think. What was it? It's like them and the Pittsburgh Pirates for the most games of 3 runs scored or fewer. It's like 30. That's bad. The Bronx Bombers, they're not the Bronx Bombers. So the Tampa Bay Rays
cease and desist with the pirate slander at this point.
No, that's fine. it was a statistic. I wasn't trying to drag them into this. I wasn't trying to associate them with those shit bum New York Yankee offense like lineup. I wasn't trying to do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. But the Pittsburgh Pirates, that's a team that may have aided a little bit in this Tampa Bay Rays team being pretty good.
Yeah, I could see why some might think that.
Yeah.
You know, I could see where you could connect some dots.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I think it's more about the guys blossoming, Jared. Just so happened it happened.
Yeah. I'm happy for him.
In a different uniform without much in return.
Clearly. Yeah, there's no one happier about the success of a guy like Tyler Glasnow than me. I mean, there's no one. I mean, we love Austin Meadows.
Well, and as a Pirate fan, love to see these guys flourish.
Yeah.
Right? That's where I'm coming from.
I mean, Austin Meadows is hitting 239, but 876 OPS. We like that. He's got 12 bombs. He's got 12 bombs and 15 doubles. So basically it's like, yeah, I'm not here for like the singles bullshit. I'm not trying to get like a 2-out knock to stand at first base for you to then strike out and then I got to jog back to the dugout. Like, you let me know. He's got fucking 37 stakes in 50 games. He's like, when Austin Meadows puts the bat to the ball, he's driving in runs. He's doing damage.
Austin Meadows is here for the gangbang.
Yeah, and you know what? Fuck a 239 batting average. He's taking his walks as well. He's getting on base at a 349 clip. He's slugging 527.
This is exactly what do I tell you? Nobody's gonna care that this is the guy that I'm talking about when I tell you 240 with 30 and 80 to 100.
Yeah,
book it. That guy gets paid. That's Austin Meadows.
That guy gets paid.
That's Austin Meadows right now, not like in totality. That's who he is right now.
He's doing great. Austin Meadows can play for me any day.
And I think the thing with the Rays too, and here's the point that I think a lot of people understand, but again, maybe don't necessarily appreciate to the fullest extent. When you pinpoint guys like Joey Wendell,
yeah, Joey Wendell's hitting the shit out of the ball,
and you say to yourself as a group, like, this guy is going to be a huge part of what we do. Like, when you say that out loud in a room, you got to believe that shit, because you're getting other people to buy in to this dude and what he does and how he's going to be a big part of what you're doing, right? Well, okay, how's Joey going to help us? How is he going to impact us? We can move this fucking guy around, okay? We can move him around. The at-bats we get out of him, the effort we get out of him, you need guys like this. We have one. He's going to be a big part of what we do moving forward. Lineup flexibility. We can move him around. Like, he's got an approach that we're okay with, that works for us. So, Joey Wendell, vital part. When you go out and say that, you got to have other pieces around him to support this kind of stuff, to support those takes. Like, you bring Mike Zunino in. What are you expecting out of Mike Zunino offensively?
Not a ton, but some pop. He's got pop.
Oh, he's got juice. He can run into one
Yeah.
for you. And so when that happens with some consistency or with some frequency, that makes a Zunino
Without
acquisition.
even like, I said that without looking at what he's been doing. And I was like, yeah, I don't expect a lot, but he's got some pop. So over this run since May 13th, put it this way. The Tampa Bay Rays on May 12th lost their second straight game to the New York Yankees to fall to 19-19 on the season. This was May 12th. Since then, I mean, the next day they won 9-0 against the Yankees. And that's when they went on their ridiculous winning streak. They've won 16 of 19. So on the run of winning 16 of 19, Mike Zunino is hitting 222 with a 1028 OPS. So that's another dude where it's like, yeah, I may not fucking hit a ton, but when I get it. Joey Wendell, 360, 1129 OPS. Austin Meadows, 339, 1181 OPS. G-Man Choi, Saturdays are for the choice, 317, 1023 OPS.
Joey Wendell, I think, is the only dude. Well, he's hitting 300 on the season.
Wendell?
Yes.
I'd buy that.
Yeah, he's hitting. I believe he's hitting over 300 for the season, and
he's hitting 302 with an 884 OPS
over like 8. Oh yeah, I was gonna say 850.
Yeah,
perfect.
302. I mean, the on base 360. He's got some pop, 6 homers, 16 doubles.
And we said this last time, but it's still true today. And they traded their starting shortstop.
They did do that.
Middle of it.
And he's actually fucking killing it right now for the Brew Crew.
Yeah.
Like, he's killing it.
How about a baseball trade just working out, huh?
Well, I mean, when you trade a guy like Willy Adames, it's like the Brewers, they were filling a need that they needed to fill, and he's been great. I mean, like, the Brewers, for the reputation that the Brewers have of being like these baseball mashers, it's been a tough go at times for the Brew Crew. offensively this year. But when the Tampa Bay Rays identify a couple of guys that they want to use in their bullpen, I would be a little skeptical about letting them go.
Well, we've said that before. Like, if you're a team that sees the Rays name pop up on your caller ID, you're like really excited and then really fearful to answer that because it's like, ooh, you know what? What do I have? What do I have? And it's like, you know what it's like someone who knows a lot about baseball cards that comes over and is digging through your box. And they're like, you hear them. You're like, ooh. And you're like, what was that? What's that for? What was that about? And they're like, oh, nothing. You're like, no, fuck that. Nothing. What was that for? You like what you saw. Clearly, how much is that worth? What is that? What do you think about that card? Oh, no. And then they're like, I'll give you a Kit Kat for these 3 cards. You're like, I don't know. I really like a fucking Kit Kat, and I haven't seen those cards in I don't know how. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. What do you mean that was a 101? What do you mean that was a 101? Like, that's what it feels like. You find out later that those were the 3 most valuable fucking cards you had in the box, and those are gone now. But how'd your Kit Kat taste?
By the way, I fucking love Kit Kats. I just want to put that out there right now. I love Kit Kats.
I'll dabble in a Kit Kat.
Since you want to poo-poo on the sustainability of the San Francisco Giants run, what have you got to say about the sustainability of this Tampa Bay Rays run?
Well, one thing I've always said about the Tampa Bay Rays is the reason that their approach works is because they aren't necessarily as reliant, as heavily dependent on like one area, one facet of the game. They're okay with bringing multiple guys in, having an impact, churning them out, moving along. Like, the unconventional conventionality for the Rays is what I think separates them from other teams who are having flighty success. Like, and when I say flighty success, when I talk about the Giants, we can talk about tangible reasons why they're doing well this year, and those in the past have been reasons why they haven't done well in the past. No production from an aging Buster. No production from a aging Crawford. Same thing with Longoria. And now it's those names we're talking about that are having great runs right now that find the Giants in first place, paired with great performances on the mound that you yourself have questioned the sustainability of. So all of that right there is still enough reason to go, Giants are playing great baseball right now. What's it look like in August and September? Those are still legitimate reasons to ask those questions. Is me dying on the hill of them being a postseason team, ultimately more me just going to wear it and go down with the ship than facing reality or acknowledging reality? No, I think we all understand that I'm acknowledging that they're a good club, but there's question marks in their sustainability. What has made the Rays successful is it feels like a guy like a Rosarena shows up and does what he does and helps the club out. And it just doesn't stop. From the pitching side of things, you got a fucking Cy Young candidate in this rotation right now. You got a guy.
Yeah, you do, don't you?
You got a guy. You got a guy who's aging in Dick Mountain, who's still climbing the hill.
13 punchies. It was the most strikeouts. It was 13 strikeouts. The last time someone as old as Dick Mountain punched out 13 was Randy Johnson, but he was still like 3 years older. He was like 44 and change. Rich Hill's like 41.
And what's in the lefty, the McClanahan kid? Like that's been decent. How many ball games has he started? He hasn't started.
Not a ton.
It's like 4 or 5. But he's thrown the ball very well. He's got over a punch out an inning, I'm sure.
He's only 24. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's a young fella, man. Yeah, I think he's got like 4 or 5 starts, maybe 6 starts, but command. He's got whiff, make you miss. Throws 1,000.
Yeah, that's not a guy that I would want to face.
And their bullpen. I mean,
he's made 6 starts.
I mean, the bullpen's the bullpen. It's the Rays bullpen.
6 starts. He's got a 3.29. He's punched out 32 in 27 and a third.
How many walks? Less than 10.
Yeah, less than 10 walks, but he's given up a lot of hits. He's pretty much given up like a hit per inning. 24 hits and 27 and a third.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that though. That's why I asked about the walks.
7
walks, 32 punchies. What's the whip at? That's a fucking 1 off the head.
113.
1.5. 113. Okay. Damn.
He's doing
Sorry
pretty
about
good.
My savant math right there.
He's doing pretty good.
Yeah. So those are reasons why I feel like.
Well, you didn't answer my question. You started talking about the Giants. Do you think that the Rays' success is sustainable? Like, would you have? I think Fangraphs has them with the highest odds to make the playoffs in the American League East right now.
Yeah, I say that's fair. I mean, I think the Red Sox will probably creep up into that. Yeah, I think this is fair, and they're doing it like no Wander either. You got Wander coming.
He is coming. He's coming.
Yeah, I believe the Tampa Bay Rays are fine.
I think they're great, but they're not as great as Kraft Mayo. You know that.
Oh, you said it.
Kraft Mayo is celebrating one ultimate Mayo lover with a Mayo endorsement complete with a $10K signing bonus. Head on over to Kraft Mayo's Twitter and Instagram @RealKraftMayo to check out the action and vote for the winner in the Kraft Mayo endorsement draft. Presented by Kraft Mayo, the mayo of mayonnaise. This is where we were supposed to blow the San Francisco Giants part of the podcast. So I guess we can sub this out since we already did that to talk about Marcell Ozuna and the big piece of shit that he is. So I kind of like I don't really want to spend a ton of time on like what he did. I mean, like by now, if you're listening to this podcast, you're a baseball fan. If you're a baseball fan, you know what he did. The new details that I was talking about that came out while we were recording is that he like threatened to kill his wife during this altercation. I kind of wanted to talk about it more from a baseball perspective in that because I saw the Ken Rosenthal tweet yesterday that the Braves more than likely will not be able to void the rest of his contract, which if you consider the 4th year buyout of the option, the buyout was $1 million. So it's $53 million over the next 4 years, not including the salary that you'd have to pay out over this year. If you're the Atlanta Braves, and I know that it's easier said than done because it's not our money or whatever, do you release him now?
Probably.
I mean, I feel like now more than ever.
But see, and this is the tough part about doing business with human beings. And I'm not saying like participating in business with another human being. When the commodity is the human being, it's different because you have the emotional aspect of what this looks like optically for the organization, right? Well, I think we can all step back and go, does anybody believe the Atlanta Braves condone Marcell Ozuna kicking his wife's ass and telling her that he's going to kill her? Nobody believes that for a second. We don't need to explain that. But there are people who will go, well, if they haven't fired him, that's exactly what they're doing. Hold on. Again, now we're talking about the business of the human being. Like trading human beings that have contracts attached to them. So now, for the Braves, this human being, no matter how big of a piece of shit he is, has a monetary value attached to him in their business world. So whether or not they can get money back, they're going to pay attention to that. They're going to listen to that. How can we do that? Let's figure that out. Say that move can't be made until he's out of prison, if that's where this thing goes. For at least 3 years is what it looked like. But at that point in time, there's another organization who's willing to take on whatever would be left of a Marcell Ozuna and the contract attached to him. Would the Braves not be doing their due diligence, and would the Braves not be practicing smart business if they were to shop around this individual that they are unable to just void? Would they not be doing their due diligence? Would they not be smart business people? Seeing if somebody would take him? Because if somebody would, the absolute smartest business move, all emotion removed from this, would be to entertain that negotiation.
Yeah.
Am I right? I am absolutely
right. No, you're right. I just think it's such a fucked up situation because if on both sides of this, if you're the Atlanta Braves, it's very the Atlanta Braves probably could be one of the only, if the only team that could employ him moving forward, because it's like, he's part of the Braves family and blah blah. But I feel like there's a vast vocal majority of Braves fans that are like, fuck this guy. I don't want him to wear my uniform ever again.
Yo, straight up, spousal abuse is a fucking deal breaker.
Yeah.
Bro. Like, that's just, you know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying is like, I feel like because he's already in-house, that makes it a tad easier to bring him back into the game. But like, we've seen it before multiple fucking times where it's like, okay, we hear these reports about Aroldis Chapman choked his girlfriend and then fired off a gun in the fucking garage. And then the Dodgers were about to acquire him and they were like, all right, no, fuck that. We ain't touching that. And then the Yankees were like, yeah, give me that discounted rate on one of the best relievers in baseball. We don't care if he choked his fucking girlfriend. And then Roberto Osuna.
Yep.
Same fucking thing. Toronto Blue Jays were like, yeah, get this fucking guy out of here.
So here's how it gets looked at though. If you're Cashman, give me a reason why that wasn't a wise business move. Give me one reason why that wasn't a wise business move on behalf of Brian Cashman.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't see attendance go down. I didn't see ratings go down for the Yankees. Merch sales didn't go down. You don't have a single fucking... I mean, I'm sure there might be a couple. But, like, as far as the fan base goes, did anyone say, I can't root for this guy?
That's the point. That's the point. It doesn't matter. A couple, that's great. That's not impacting it. If 1,000 fans are going to tell me to kick rocks, but 1,001 fans are like, hey, we're still showing up, that's a victory. That's a business decision that made sense for Brian Cashman.
Yeah.
And
I just think
so,
it's really shitty when that happens.
Well, it is, but that's back to my point about trading in human beings. Because this dude, this human who's doing human being shit that tells you he's not a great human and you wouldn't want this guy impacting your work environment in any other way. Like, you're not here for that. You don't want this guy here. But you know what? He didn't do any of that with the Yankees, right? He didn't have any of those issues with them.
But I don't think at that point he hadn't.
No.
Put it this way. It was so recent that he had to accept his domestic violence suspension as a Yankee.
Understood. But this is the point that you made about people having a place to be already or who's going to acquire these people. Mm-hmm. That's why for Brian Cashman or Team X, outside of wherever Chapman was at the time, they're looking at it from a completely different perspective.
Yeah.
They're looking at it like the girlfriend who's not going to get cheated on.
Yeah.
Well, he cheated on you, he cheated on you, he cheated on you, he cheated on you. I'm different. Why? Because he hasn't cheated on me yet. Well, you're not together yet. Fair point, but it hasn't happened to me yet. And so that's where any other team comes from. The Astros with Ozuna. Well, this is what he is. This is who he is. All we can tell you is that our culture here, what we've created, what we're all about, that stuff doesn't fly here. That's not going to be okay here. So maybe this is the place of rehabilitation for this individual. And that's where some of these players are coming from, Jared. They're saying, so I fuck up one time, granted, horribly, like just terrible, just a bad look here. Do I not get the ability to try to amend things? Do I not get a second chance?
That's what I said. I mean, like that was going to be the point when I said that I see it from both sides. That was the other side that I was going to say is, you know, I do believe in second chances. I do. But in this particular instance, it feels like the second chance comes too soon. You know, like if it's like in the case of Chapman, it's like, all right, the Reds are like, all right, get the fuck out of here. And it's like, well, I'm going to get a second chance with the Yankees immediately. It's like, you haven't changed as a person. Like you haven't. I don't even think he came to terms with what happened. Like it sounded like he just kind of paid everyone off to shut up about it because no one wanted to press charges and no one like wanted to speak about it. It was like, yeah, let's just bury this thing. And
you got to understand too, like in situations where you are a citizen of a country that isn't your country of origin, or maybe you're not a citizen who's allowed to be here forever, like you're on a visa of some sort. Like you're not trying to make waves. Like I know, like for me, like in winter ball, I'm not trying to get in trouble. I'm not trying to fuck around. I got in trouble. And I was not trying to fuck around. I understood, like, this is not, I am not trying to mess this up right now.
yeah.
So, like, as far as Chapman paying people off or whatever, like, you got to understand, there's people that are in situations where if you're a meal ticket and you and I have a beef here, but you're my meal ticket, there's an understanding. I'm probably not saying shit here because I'm not biting the hand that feeds me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that happens far too often in domestic issues.
Sure. And I think the difference here compared to those is that the fucking police witnessed it. So
that's the kicker. That right there is the detail. Is this isn't hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't trying to figure out what happened on a video camera. This is the cops walking in on Ozuna's hand around his wife's throat, screaming or yelling or saying, I'm going to kill you. Like, you're going to die, or whatever the threat was. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing. But it's the cops who saw it. It's the cops who heard it. It's nobody else.
No.
So when it comes to, like, who's pressing charges here and where's this evidence coming from, like, this is, if you're Marcell Ozuna, worst case scenario. Because you're not paying the PD off.
No.
And there's a strong chance they don't give a fuck about you playing outfield for the Atlanta Braves.
No, they sure don't, because he was arrested. And I think kind of like back to the main point that I wanted to hit on there. I know that like the Players Association is as strong as it is and you know, the union. There has to come a time where there is language to protect teams against stuff like this. And I think you kind of made the point about PEDs. It's like, okay, yeah, it's guaranteed contract, but it's in the language of the contract that if you get suspended or you test positive, you get popped for PEDs. I know that's like, and I even said this on Twitter, and people are like, how are you comparing someone taking PEDs to someone being a domestic abuser? Like, those are two completely different things. And I'm not comparing the severity of the acts. I'm comparing the impact that this could have financially on a Major League Baseball team. Because if you're the Mets and Robinson Cano tests positive again, and you're like, all right, like, just fucking get out of here, dude. Like you're a fraud player, and we don't want to be on the hook for what, like, we agreed in good faith. We were playing for a performance level that you can't maintain naturally. Like, you cheated to maintain this level of success. And with domestic violence, it's like, okay, we can't like follow these guys home. We're not hiring private investigators to make sure that they're upstanding human beings away from the ballpark. Like, that's not up to us. Like, it's up to the player to maintain a level of decency as a human being. And when you don't uphold your end of the bargain, why do we have to uphold our end of the bargain from a financial agreement? So
Well, and
I don't know what the solution is there, but like the Braves should not be on the hook for $53 million
needs to be-
over the next 4 years if they decide that they don't want Marcell Ozuna on their baseball team anymore.
there needs to be an addendum, and I'm all for it. I'm all for that. There needs to be an addendum. There needs to be a baseline, like whatever your contract is, comparatively, this is what the I don't know if it's a buyout or this is what the settlement would be, where if something like this happens and we're talking jail time, that could take over, that could run the course of a contract. Like how do I not have an opportunity to get that money back
Right.
if I'm an organization? That has to be the case because then what you're kind of doing is tying the organization's hands, saying whether or not you agree with this dude and whether or not you guys organizationally align with his behavior, you're going to have to stand by him financially, which optically sends the message that you do stand by the character of this individual because you're fucking paying him.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. The only reason I'm paying him is because I have to. If I didn't have to, like the organization should be able to get out from underneath the human being when shit like this happens. Like, they'd love to pay Marcell Ozuna, the player, to play baseball and perform, but knowing what the human being has in store, knowing what that guy is, like, we're not willing to pay that guy for the, like, we don't want to be with this guy anymore. Can we get the fuck out from this? Like, how does this work?
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what comes of this. I think because of that major detail of the police witnessing it, jail time being on the table is how this is different.
On the table, as far as it says, mandatory.
Yeah.
Didn't it say it's a mandatory 3-year term because it's spousal?
Yeah. I mean, he's got money. I'm sure that there's a way to wiggle out of it, but regardless.
Well, and remember, I believe there's some history between
the wife,
this couple.
yeah, I think she attacked him with like a
soap dish.
yeah,
or some
soap
shit?
dish or something like that. Yeah, so that is worth noting. But people were trying to bring that up, like, well, see, she had it coming, and it's like, no, dude, what the fuck? Like, get out of the marriage. You don't stick in it and then just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna choke you and hit you with a cast as a way to counteract that. That's not how that works. But yeah, so I feel bad for the Braves, the spot that they're in. It doesn't seem like they're going to be lent a helping hand here in regards to, financial resolution to all this. But, I guess, I don't know. If I say it'll be interesting to see, it almost sounds like, oh, I'm excited. But I guess I'm more just intrigued to see how it plays out. Like, I'm intrigued to see, do they straight up release him? Or is there a team out there so desperate for offense that if he doesn't get arrested, they'd be like, yeah, we'll eat the whatever 80-game suspension, and then we'll have Marcell Ozuna for a bag of balls for the next 3 years? Yeah, sure. I'm sure that there's a team out there that exists. But that being said, we are getting further and further away from that culture existing, which the Roberto Osuna Astros trade, I mean, what was his name? Taubman got fired for basically rubbing it in the female reporters' faces. Like, thank God we got fucking Osuna. And they were wearing like domestic violence awareness month bracelets at the time.
But think how egregious that behavioral act is. Like, think about being in a room where a grown man does that to other grown women who are all a part of the same fucking organization.
Yeah.
Like, we're all, what?
Well, he got fired immediately, so at least there's that.
You're a member of the media. I'm a member of this organization. We're all a part of this machine here, and you treat somebody like that. Like, so I don't know that we got any, because, I mean, Aroldis Chapman fired a fucking gun. Dude had a job.
Yep.
So, like, on the list of, like, this is, we're not trying to tell you what's bad, what's good, what's okay, what's acceptable, domestic abuse-wise. None of it. Absolutely none of it is acceptable. But when you think about a guy firing a weapon with his victim in his presence and him having a job, like, I don't know. Like, so the police saw these people wrestling, saw him choking her. Like, what's that supposed to do for me in terms of Marcell Ozuna not getting another opportunity? I know that a guy could shoot a gun with his victim in the building and nothing much is going to happen.
Plus, I want to say, wasn't Chapman's suspension like 30 games because it was kind of light because no one cooperated?
Well, not only that, but here's the other thing. The precedence is what I am intrigued by here, is because with those things that we're talking about, the Ozuna and the Chapman stuff, not much precedent for the league to go on or for us to understand why the league is making the decisions they're making. We just hadn't been down these roads before with this level of activity. Well, now we have a precedent set. So, yeah, it's interesting. If Chapman got 30 games for firing a gun, then what does Ozuna get? You know what I mean? Like, how? Like, is one worse? Is that what the league is now tasked to do? Is that what we're all going to do? If the suspension is more, then do we look at it and go, I'd be the first one to go, so Ozuna's got more games for choking his wife as opposed to firing a gun while fighting with her.
So just for reference, Chapman got 30 games. Roberto Osuna got 75 games. He was never proven guilty, and the criminal charges were dropped. So this is all hearsay, but I think
but MLB ran their own investigation.
Correct, and
they got their own information.
Yes. So I want to say the police report in Toronto was very damning for Ozuna.
Yes.
So
yes,
that's that. But I mean, okay. So
the police report here lays it all out.
Right. The fucking police saw it. So are we looking at a suspension north of 75 games?
That's what's intriguing, is what is MLB going to find out on their own that the cops wouldn't be telling them as the key witness? Right? That's why MLB runs those investigations, is because witnesses aren't cooperating, is because they're trying to get all of the facts here. Well, they'll get all the facts, like what was the argument over, how did it start, who called, what happened. And then from there, you go to the witnesses. All right, what'd you see? Well, that person's wearing a badge. And that person is very different than somebody who might be depending on Marcell Ozuna's next paycheck. So what Major League Baseball is going to get from the police officers in terms of cooperation and story, that's going to be very different than some of the issues that Major League Baseball has probably run into in the past, when you have stuff like you've just said happen and people don't want to cooperate.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But that's a very, I feel bad for Braves fans. I mean, like, they've gotten shit news after shit news this year. And yeah, I mean, you thought you were going to lose Marcell Ozuna because for 8 weeks because he was in a cast. Now you've probably lost him forever at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not great.
Not great.
But Omaha steaks are great.
They're fucking tasty.
Hell yeah. Got the whole fucking styrofoam case sent to the place. Brought it over to my parents. Fucking Pat threw some steaks on the grill. We had the steak fries. I think that was my Tuesday night last week. Maybe we'll make a habit out of it and do Omaha steaks once a week.
You probably should. The burgers are a huge hit.
I haven't had the
dogs.
Burgers yet.
They're juicy as fuck.
Yeah.
Juice JAF.
Yeah.
Jaffe burgers
Jaff
is what they should call them. They shouldn't do that at all, because Omaha Steaks handles labeling and all that very well. So much so that I'm on the Omaha Steak train. you should be on the Omaha steak train as well because it's barbecue season. It's grill season. You know what's coming up? We got Father's Day coming up. I'm a dad. And if you're a fan of me, maybe you just want to send me some awesome steaks for Father's Day. I would accept them. But send your father some steaks for Father's Day. He would love them. He would be willing to accept them. I promise you, you're going to make a friend forever when you show up to the barbecue with a box of Omahas. Could you imagine being that guy? Don't be the dude who shows up with a bag of tired-ass potato chips. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your reputation. We all know that we talk about you when you leave the barbecue. Do you want it to be good this time? Then roll up with some Omaha fucking steaks. Seriously. I need you right now. You're going to go to omahasteaks.com. You're going to type in starting 9 in the search bar. And you're going to order Padre the Get Out and Grill assortment. Dallas, what's in the Get Out and Grill assortment? Well, I am glad you asked. He had 20 entrees in that bad boy. He's guaranteed to love the ultra juicy burgers just like my children do. I love them too. I just said that for the kids because when I'm throwing the barbecue together, getting the coals ready and shit, it's easier for me. Boom, burgers on, kick those to the girls. They're fed, they're chilling, they're happy, and then I can roll up the sleeves and get to work. Maybe it's dropping some plump chicken titties on them, some grilled plump chicken titties. Yeah, they got sides, desserts. You understand that? How about 4 10-ounce butcher cut New York strips? 4. Strips are aged 30 damn days. Why is that important? What's that matter? No, they weren't just left on the counter for 30 days. Age equals tenderness, people. You want it succulent and juicy? Get that Viejo. Yeah. Plus, you get 4 free New York strip burgers. 4 free of these juicy-ass burgers I'm talking about. Ultra lean, pack a bold and intense flavor. You will not be disappointed. Nobody at the barbecue is going to be disappointed when you're rolling through with a box of Omahas. Omaha steak isn't just steak. It's the best steak of your damn life, guaranteed. Visit omahasteaks.com. Remember, keyword starting, and order the Get Out and Grill assortment. That's the Get Out and Grill assortment today. Fire this thing off to a coach, an old coach, somebody in your life that you're like, you know what? Haven't seen them in a while. I know they're going to be barbecuing. I want them to enjoy this more than ever, and I want it to be on me. The folks at Omaha Steaks can help you dial that in. And don't forget, limited time right now, 4 free New York strip burgers. 4 free New York strip burgers with your order. It's the Get Out and Grill assortment is what you're after. You're going to get your 4 New York strip burgers as well. That's omahasteaks.com, keyword starting 9. Light that baby up.
Did you know the fucking Yankee Stadium is only at 33% still?
Really?
Yeah. Like
June 15th, we're going fucking balls to the walls in Oakland, baby.
I'm surprised. Like I feel like Massachusetts is one of those states where it's like, all right, we're going to be careful. Like even if it was
California?
safe. Huh?
California?
Yeah, you guys are hippie fucks. I'm saying like we're at least like the medical capital of the country. I think with Massachusetts, I did think I was a little surprised to see them go from like, all right, we're at 20. What do we start at? We started at like 18%. And then we were like, all right, let's do 25. Let's do 100. Like it was basically like we tried weed. We're like, that's cool. What else you got? Heroin? Yeah. Let's do
How about that peyote over there?
Yeah, that's kind of what we did here.
Ice.
But yeah, I mean, the Red Sox and Yankees are playing each other this weekend at Yankee Stadium, and I was talking to Hubs. I was like, yeah, like, you know, we should do something content-wise for Red Sox Yankees this weekend. He's like, we're not even at like close to 100% yet. I was like, what?
That is weird.
I mean, God, Jesus, I don't know. I saw something that like I think Dave might have tweeted something like, you know, if some places are 100%, everywhere should be 100%. Like what? Like there's not. Like what are we doing here?
Well, the one thing I'm curious about for myself, selfishly, is when we go to 100%, and I'm then down on the field in my spot where I'm at. Does that mean that I'm still going to have to keep my mask on to call a game? And I think that answers yes.
You have to keep your mask on to call a game?
Yeah.
Why?
Because if you're in the ballpark, you have to keep your mask on, right? Unless you're eating or drinking.
Not at Fenway. I think if I was, well, I don't know. I haven't been to Fenway since it's been 100%, but I've been there twice at 25%. And you don't need to keep your mask on.
Oh, well, California, you do. Mask
I think
on
it's crazy that
unless you're eating or drinking.
We're all going through the same global pandemic, and every state's like, we know better. No, we know better. No, we know better. It's like no one fucking knows, dude.
That's the United States of America for you, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. No one has a clue what they're doing, and yeah.
Yeah, we get into that if you want. I go rip the bong real quick. I got to come back, but
get some takes.
Because that's
some
fucking
takes on Uncle Sam.
Meaty. Yeah, it is what it is. Well, you got any final thoughts, Carrabis? Oh, I'll say this: World Baseball Classic, or not World Baseball Classic, Olympic Baseball qualifier in action has begun.
Yeah, it has. What did we see? A combined no-no? Yeah,
combined no-no. The Canadians are fucking neighbors to the north.
Yeah,
sliced up the Colombians.
Toronto.
Yeah, diced them up.
Love that.
Combined no-no. U.S. plays Dominican Republic today.
Anyone in particular that you like prospect-wise that's playing for the United States? Anyone?
No, you know what? I'm excited for like some of the older dudes.
Yeah.
That are back playing.
Who?
You know,
like who?
Like John Jay.
Okay.
Just guys who had played for Team USA a while ago, early in their career. And that's always something that, like, there's just no feeling like the name across the chest being your country's name,
mm-hmm.
your city's name, whatever, just that kind of pride. And so to see the guys who had been there before early in their career get an opportunity to kind of circle back because they understand, like, hey, look, I play well, things go great, I could be on that roster. I don't. I know that the purpose I'm serving here is helping the guys that are going to make those teams, that are going to be on those rosters, and I love competing for my country. So it's just a really cool moment for some of these older guys to have at the end of their career because, frankly, the exit from the game is not always as gentle and as loving and as rewarding as it is for everybody. And so if guys can have these types of moments at the back end of their career, I think it's something special that they're able to hold on to and take with them. And
That's
I like
cool.
to see that.
That's cool. I like that. All right. We back on Thursday?
Thursday.
Yeah. Got some good baseball this week. Catch up on all that. Enjoy the baseball. And we'll see you on Thursday.
We go!